Good evening. How are you?
Good. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's kind of late where you're at, and we really do appreciate you calling in tonight.
Oh, no problem. No problem. For having me.
No problem. Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch you on Impact Wrestling. You definitely got a lot of talent, and I think you got a bright future with TNA. And I applaud your efforts in the gut check, and I know you're definitely going to go very far with TNA.
Thanks. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new chapter with TNA, and I'm just ready for it.
When the first time you came out to during the gut check thing, you know how you present yourself, you look like iconic. That's how I felt. When the first word came to me was icon. I don't know why. It just stuck out. You just look like I don't know. You just look like you belong.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. We just got a couple questions for you tonight, and as far as how it goes, and I'll start off as far as when you growing up as a part in the wrestling business. Obviously, you have family who's in it, being that your uncle is the Barbarian. But I want to ask you now, growing up and being around that all, I mean, were you automatically attracted to the art of professional wrestling, wanting to learn how to do it? Did you kind of just got to get into it by watching as a child? Did you go to the live events? How did you get into wanting to be a professional wrestler?
Well, of course, growing up, it's always been around me through my uncle and just a lot of the different wrestlers like Rikishi and all of them. I grew up not only knowing them as a child but also watching them. As I got older, I kind of ventured off. I always grew up loving sports, volleyball and basketball, and I actually went to college on a full-ride volleyball scholarship to Southwest Missouri State. And eventually, as time went on and I wanted to, go to college and finish college, and then I ended up meeting my husband and getting married. So during that time, I ended up playing women's professional football before wrestling.
Oh, nice.
Happened. I think for me it was all timing. It's always been there, and it's always been in my blood and always in my mind to do it. I always grew up being a fan of it and a fan of my uncles and a lot of different wrestlers, but for me it was all timing, what was, at the time in my life, what was going on. And then after football, I just thought of wrestling, and we actually had one of our close friends stay with us for a little bit, and we'd watch Monday Night Raw, TNA, Thursdays, everything, and he just happened to say, you need to wrestle. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do that. And they didn't think I was, because they knew I grew up around it all the time, and they knew I was very athletic and loved sports. Mm-hmm. And I called my uncle up the next day and asked him, where can I go train? And he had a talk with me about, this is what you want to do, you stick with it and you'll get far, if you stay focused with it. So my uncle and George South, they started me off and trained me and taught me the basics. And from there, I started doing independent shows and working the independent scene, and then I actually seen that TNA was having a gut check seminar. So I went there to Fayetteville, North Carolina, and D'Lo Brown was there, and I did the seminar, and I wasn't expecting anything because I knew, everyone always tells me you have to have more years of experience, and I only had 2 years of experience, so I just was going there to learn and gain knowledge and just try to, learn as much as I can. And I guess from that gut check seminar, D'Lo Brown went back, and next thing you know, Al Snow gave me a call 6 days later and asked me if I wanted the opportunity for the gut check, and I didn't expect it. I didn't think it would happen anytime soon for me. But you just never know in life. You just never know when opportunities come. Don't turn down any opportunity.
No, that's true. That's very true. You definitely jumped at that opportunity, and you got to be a part of Impact Wrestling, and you got in the ring with, surprisingly enough, an actual former Tough Enough contestant from the WWE, Ivelisse. and she's quite the little firecracker herself. And you guys had a great match. I was very well done match, and let's just say I think nothing against Ivelisse. I think they definitely chose the right one. I think Ivelisse's time will come, but I think this time was your time.
Yeah. Thank you. I think Ivelisse, she was a great competitor, and like I said, I didn't expect anything, and even that night on Gut Check on live TV, I was so nervous, because I was nervous. And I just didn't know, like, in my mind, I just kind of was like, at the end of the day, I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I didn't know who they were going to pick, and it happened to be me. I know Ivelisse, she has a lot of experience and more years, and she's been to the Tough Enough and got signed with WWE. But, I think when things are meant to happen and opportunities come, I believe they chose the right one, and I'm just ready to, go in there and work and do my best, and I hope I can share my talent with the world and open up other opportunities for other people by sharing my gift and talent.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely bring something different to the Knockouts division. That's one thing I've always admired about TNA. They not only allow some of the most beautiful women in the world to get in there and wrestle, well, just that really. I mean, they're not just eye candy. They can get in there and actually wrestle. To give TV time to wrestle instead of just being TNA on television. Not excuse the expression, I guess you could say, for WWE television. Nothing against them. I'm not knocking them. But you want to see women get out there and wrestle. You don't want them just to go be strutting around anymore. You want to be entertained. And I think that's what I love about what the Knockout division brings to TNA.
Yeah, and I really like that too, that they actually give, time. They really let women get out there and wrestle and give them time and everything. I think their Knockout division is great, and I'm so thankful just to be a part of it.
So so after competing in Gut Check, have you gone over to train at the OVW facility or?
Yeah, well, actually, that's my next step. They gave me a developmental deal, and cool. So not only that, they'll still be, they want me to go down there and work. So I'm excited to go and do that. I'll be going there actually in 2 weeks. I'll be going down to OVW, and from there, whenever they are ready for me to go and fit me into the storyline, then I'm ready to go when they tell me I am.
That's very cool.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
No doubt. I get to be around a lot of great minds for wrestling. And actually, I just wanted to ask my partner in crime here, Austin. Did you have any questions for Ms. Tapa?
No, I was going to say, was Barbarian your main influence to get into wrestling, or were there other wrestlers besides him that influenced you?
Yeah, definitely my uncle. Looking up to him when I was a child, I used to be, when I was younger, I was smaller, and now I'm almost like his height. So it's really funny, but I really look up to him. There's a lot of different wrestlers that I besides my uncle, the one I definitely look up to, even though he doesn't, I look up to Hulk Hogan. So meeting Hulk Hogan, again, I remember him when I was little, but he didn't even remember me because I was just a little girl. But seeing him, and being able to be a part of TNA, and he's a part of that too. There's just a lot of great people over there, Sting and Karen, all of them. There's just so many I look up to that have years of experience that talk to me and share their knowledge with me of the business and helping me to become a greater wrestler. And it's like you all said, I know that I bring something different to the Knockout division, and I know they all see that. And I think it's a great thing to add diversity to already what they have. And the sky's the limit from here. We'll see what happens in the future.
Maybe within a year from now, we may even see you in TNA as their Knockouts champion. You never know.
That's the goal.
Now, was there any advice given over the years? I know that you definitely said your biggest influence definitely was your uncle, but growing up, did he or did anybody else give you some advice about life as far as life in professional wrestling that's kind of stuck with you and something that you hold near and dear and abide by at this point in time as a wrestler? Does that make sense?
Yes. By you saying that, I just remember before I even went up to TNA, and had that gut check. I had like a deep conversation with my uncle, and he told me, you know, in the wrestling business, there's all the sorts of things that can happen, but he knows me, and he knows like that I work hard, and when I stick to something, I give it my all. So he told me to just go out there and stay focused. You know, you only have one life to live, and everything you want to do in life, you can do if you try. If you have a dream, go fulfill your dream. If you have a goal, go and reach it, you know. So that's like my motto in anything I do, whether it be wrestling or just in general life for people, to always know that whatever it is in life that you want to do and want to be, you can be. You have to believe in yourself, and never give up.
That's actually really good advice, and that's a great motto to live by, because I know that my young partner in crime here is aspiring to be a professional wrestler once he gets old enough and gets the experience built. But
that's great.
That's great advice to give. And I know he'll definitely keep that with him.
Well, you can do it. You can do it.
Thank you. People like you are the main people that that I get inspiration from. So I really you probably don't know how much I appreciate what you're saying.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm like so honored to even have, you guys call me and want to do an interview. It makes me feel really good that people out there see and care and want to know and want me to share, whatever it is I can share with the world.
Of course, because above anything else, I mean, you're a professional wrestler, but you're also a fan of wrestling as well. You grew up a fan. You had it in your blood as well. But you grew up loving what you do, and it shows that when you love what you do, it doesn't become work. Yeah. And you go out there, and it shows in your wrestling matches, of course. So, you show that you're having fun. But I actually wanted to ask you, going into a different direction. Growing up, were there any particular lady wrestlers or just professional wrestlers besides your uncle, of course, that you mentioned, and you did mention he's definitely, I remember his time with Bobby Heenan, but was there anybody in particular you grew up idolizing as far as lady wrestlers go?
There was one, even though she kind of veered off onto another lane of her life. When I was growing up, I always remember seeing Chyna. And I used to be like, oh, my gosh, she just was like this big old buff superhero to me. Like, I as a woman and as a little girl, you look at and be like, I could be strong like her. I can be, dominant like her. Like, I really looked up to her, even though now I know in her life I'm not sure exactly what she's doing. But as a child, that presence that she brought in the ring, not only as that dominant, powerful woman and fighting men and women, she always just stuck out to me in my mind growing up. There's a lot out there that are really great, but she always stuck in my mind, even now.
She was definitely she definitely had a presence about her that still gets talked about to this day, as far as her time in WWE, as far as getting in the ring and dominating the women's, and as well as some of the men. And later down the line, we see that with the likes of Awesome Kong or even Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, I was going to bring her up too, Beth Phoenix and Awesome Kong. It's so funny. I've never ever met Awesome Kong, but I know a lot of people, they compare my presence about what I bring kind of to her. Exactly. And my height and everything. So I get that a lot. So, it'd be amazing to meet her in the ring one day and me and her battle it out.
There you go. For the most dominant diva.
Anybody...
Go ahead, Austin.
I was saying, is there anybody that you actually want to wrestle? I mean, if you can pick anybody, any women's wrestler.
Ooh, there's a lot.
There is.
There's a lot. I can't even pick one. Honestly, I can't even pick one because I want them all. I want them all. All the TNA knockouts, they already know that I want them all. I told them when it's my time to step in the ring with you guys, I'm going to take you down.
There you go. Got to have that confidence. Back it up. And I think you can. And they better watch out.
Yeah.
But did you ever get any? Let me change that. Let me scratch that. being that you already had actively been wrestling on the independent circuit and so forth, did you actually enjoy wrestling more as a heel or even as a good guy, good girl?
I've worked both in the independent scene, but to me, I like working heel. You know, and honestly, like I'm a mix of both. Like the heel is my thing because of who my uncle is, but the type of character I play, I'll just say heel. I like wearing heels, and I'll be a heel.
No, that's pretty funny because I know with the heel, being a heel, you're allowed to push the bar just a little bit further. Whereas being good doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but you know it's a little different. You have to kind of watch what you say, be a little bit more respectful. You get to have a little bit more fun being heel. That's for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy it. You know, it's so funny. A lot of people think like even though you have in your bloodline someone that wrestled, you know, like my uncle, people might think that it's so easy for me just because of who my uncle is. You know, sometimes people are like, "Oh, that's your uncle," or you know, people might think that even though that they have family that are wrestlers and then they end up, you know, taking that path to wrestling like me, people think it's so easy for me to get on. It's not. Like, you actually have to work for it. I don't believe in handing out anything. Like, people wouldn't even think that they thought, oh, she just got on TNA because of her uncle. They don't even realize that I was just like everyone else, went to this seminar and happened to take, you know, me, D'Lo Brown. I was just like, there were 12 of us, you know, out there at this seminar just working. So I think I just wanted to get out there that I worked hard for this. I don't get nothing handed down to me, you know, by my uncle. My uncle knows that. And people around me that know me know that you know, people say certain things about, I just wanted people to know that nothing gets handed down to you easy. You have to work for it, you know?
Absolutely. Now, you said as a child you actually got to meet some of the stars of the 80s like Hogan and
Hogan, The Rock, all of them.
Oh, you got to meet The Rock, really? That's cool.
Yeah,
but I was going to ask you now, was there anybody in particular that you were excited to meet?
I was always excited to meet all of them. I looked at all of them like
words.
superheroes and, oh, my gosh, don't hurt me.
Now, did you ever get a chance to meet, like, Randy Savage and maybe Elizabeth? Or were you young to be around?
I haven't got to meet Randy Savage. I haven't met him yet, but I hope I can meet him one day.
Okay. How about, were you ever a fan of WCW? Do you remember WCW? It's been so long.
I was like, I know my uncle had wrestled for them. I was like little. It's been like, yeah.
It's been a while, that's for sure. Was there any of your uncle's matches that you enjoyed going to the most? Any particular event that stood out the most that you enjoyed going to, or were they all pretty fun for you?
They were all pretty much fun for me. I would get so mad at the people when I was younger. I would be like, "That's my uncle. Why are you being so mean?" You know. But now I understand why. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of his matches. I think as a pro wrestler, when you even get out there and you're able to do that, it's an art form. You're trained to, you know, your body takes a lot. And I think when you train your body to, you know, take those beatings, especially when you do it for so many years, like my uncle, your body changes. So it's always good to take care of your body.
That's very true. And on a side note, I just wanted to mention, for those listening in tonight, if you have any questions for Miss Lady Tapa, please call in on our line here, area code 347-202-0399, and which I'm sure Miss Tapa won't mind answering a couple of questions, would she?
Oh, I wouldn't mind at all.
And with that, I want to actually go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll go ahead and see if we have any callers, and then see if Austin has any more questions, and go from there. Hang out for just a second, and we'll be back in just a moment, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, to Pipebomb Radio. We're speaking to new TNA knockout, Lady Tapa, and we're going to go ahead and bring her back on. How you doing, Miss Tapa? You okay? You having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Awesome, awesome. We do actually have a caller on the line. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. He's a good friend of mine in Austin's. His name is Matt. Let me go ahead and bring him on real quick, and I think he has a question. Matt, are you there?
Yes, I am, Felix. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us. Did you have a question for Lady Tapa?
Yes, I do. Hi, Miss Tapa.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I want to congratulate you on becoming the newest knockout of the TNA wrestling roster. What was it like training with your uncle, the Barbarian? He's one of my biggest favorite superstars.
What was?
I think the question was,
I'm sorry.
What was it like training with the Barbarian?
Yeah.
I think that
Hello?
was the question. Can you hear?
Yes, I'm still here. Yes, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I was saying, what was it like training with the Barbarian before you became a pro wrestler?
Oh, it was really good. Training with my uncle, the Barbarian, he taught me so much, especially like being tough. It was a great experience. That's one of those things you can never not enjoy. Who wouldn't want to train with the Barbarian? Training with my uncle was an honor because I know he took his time out for me, and he's still busy now traveling around the world, doing a lot of shows overseas and everywhere. So the time that he could be here, just the time that he took out for me to train with me, it was a great experience, something that I never forget.
That is wonderful. I'm a huge fan of Impact Wrestling and TNA Wrestling. I collect their merchandise, DVDs, and someday I'm going to get me a job with Impact Wrestling, and it would be my honor to call one of your matches live at the Impact Zone or wherever they are on the road.
Oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support.
Oh, you're welcome, Ms. Tapa. It's so great to talk to a legendary knockout of TNA, the niece of the Barbarian. I'm a huge fan of the Barbarian.
Oh, man. We're going to have to probably try and get him on this show so you can call in and you can talk to him.
That'll definitely be in the works.
So
that's
great.
For sure.
Well, that's all the questions I have for the show. It was just an honor on meeting you, Ms. Tapa. I read earlier tonight some of your family's heritage, and it was just such an honor tonight. This was a great episode of Pipe on Radio.
Thank you so much for
tonight,
oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for your support. Keep following me.
Oh,
we're going to keep growing, and we're going to go all the way to the top. We're going to take over.
Yes, we are. Lady Tapa is the #1 knockout in TNA Wrestling.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
You're very welcome. Felix, thank you for having me so often. I'll talk to him later on. And Ms. Tapa, good luck in Louisville. I have your support in OVW too.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, man.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, that was nice.
That was really nice.
Yeah, he's definitely very passionate
That's another reason why I love doing what I do.
he's definitely very passionate about who he supports, and yeah, in him you'll always have a fan. That's for sure.
Thank you.
But with that being said, I want to ask my good partner, my good friend Austin. Did you have any questions for Ms. Tapa?
Yeah, one last question. I brought up earlier, about your character. The first time I seen you walk out, I got goosebumps because that doesn't happen to everybody. It only happens to people that I think of, that they're just everything your whole entire character is like, you know, spectacular. It's like the first word that pops in my head when you walk out in your entrance was icon. I'm not even kidding. I mean, that's what you like. You know, your dress and stuff like that, what you wore. It's all tied in perfectly.
Thank you. And that's what I hope to be one day, is an icon and just something totally different that you'll never forget. So I appreciate you saying that.
No problem at all.
Yeah, definitely. You know what, though? I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to go ahead and close for now because I know it is late where you're at. Ms. Tapa, it has been an extreme honor to speak with you tonight. We wish you all the best, and maybe somewhere down the line we'll be talking to the future TNA Knockouts champion, and we'll bring her back on to chat with us if you're up for it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you for having me.
It has been an extreme honor, and definitely, like I said, we'll look to see about maybe having your uncle on in the future, and hopefully you'll listen in on that conversation as well.
Yeah, I will.
But my very best to you and your husband. Your husband was very respectful, very nice guy, and he would definitely thank him for helping us set this up as well.
Yep, shout out to my husband. He's Royal Red. He keeps me grounded, and he supports me 100% in everything I do.
That's awesome. That's very awesome. And you know what? Who could you have better than as a manager than your own husband?
Thank you.
And like I said, it was definitely an honor to have you. And
if you're listening, if my husband's listening, I want him to know I love him.
Thanks for being the first women's wrestler on Pipebomb Radio.
Yes. We definitely wanted to say, Ms. Tapa, Austin, just bring up one last thing. We want to thank you for being the very first knockout lady wrestler to join us here on Pipebomb Radio. We take that honor very seriously. We thank you so much. And,
wow, thank you. It's an honor.
You'll be always known as the very first lady of Pipebomb Radio.
We just made history today.
There you go. There you go. It means a lot to us. We do appreciate that. And as I said, we're going to go ahead and let you go because I know it is approaching almost midnight at your house, or at least in your location. Yeah. So I definitely want to let you get some rest and get you ready, and look forward to seeing you on Impact Wrestling real soon.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Have a great night, and thank you again.
You too. All right.
Bye-bye.